It is 6:23 as just as people were heading to the stores and shopping centers, the Omicron variant began spreading.
So there's that.
Right.
The question is there anything you can do to actually slow the spread of germs in general? Joining us now to talk about that is Eddie Perez. He's Regional Director of Stratus Building Solutions of Los Angeles. And Eddie, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Really appreciate it. You know what? Just the other day, believe it or not, I actually ventured out.
Okay.
I went to an Apple store. Now, talk about Germ City. It was packed, Eddie. What do you do?
Yeah, it's a great question. Happy holidays to both of you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, the electronic stores are a prime area for germs, the spreading of germs, the virus, of course. You just have to take normal precautions. Make sure to try to distance. Certainly wear your mask. That's a hotbed because a lot of people are touching the screens and whatnot and leaning on counters. So you definitely want to take those precautions. Wash your hands. Use hand sanitizer. All the old standbys still remain.
So what are some other, of the germiest spots you can think of? I imagine one of our new favorites, self-checkout.
Yes, self-checkout screens, absolutely. We saw a picture of it there, the handrails, elevator buttons, door handles. Those are all hot spots. Certainly the restrooms. You want to be careful with those. Toy stores are a big item as well, or rather a big hot spot. If you go to a toy store, a lot of people pick up the toys, they'll touch them, they'll move them around. Food courts at shopping malls are a hot spot as well. Any touch screens you mentioned, all of those things are certainly hot items that you want to kind of try to minimize. Now, it's impossible not to touch all of those things, of course, but we encourage people to wash their hands, use hand sanitizers, and try not to touch your face. It's inevitable that you're going to touch some of those items, but try not to touch your face if you do until you've washed your hands or used hand sanitizer.
I kind of feel like restrooms, which can be germy. Actually, though, at least you have the option of washing your hands and cleaning up when you're in there. I kind of feel like there are places that are lurking, and I'm using that word purposely, that are actually probably a lot germier than restrooms.
Yes, certainly restrooms, as you mentioned, you wash your hands. You want to be careful as you exit, though. A lot of people, unfortunately, do not wash their hands after using the restroom. We hate to say that. And they'll be, yes, I know. But they'll touch the door on the way out. So if it's not a sliding door, you want to be careful. I always use a paper towel as I exit, or I try to touch the door at a high point.
What is something, just really quick, tips, what should you pack with you? Should you try to have, wipes with you in your bag? What should you do?
Yes, certainly. At my house, we do what we call a little shopping mall kit. So certainly you want to include your mask, obviously. If you want to take gloves, that's certainly encouraged. Hand sanitizer, absolutely. Those are the three items that you most want to use. A lot of people will use those little metal items that you can open doors with and turn handles. Those are encouraged as well.
Here's the thing, Eddie. I mean, with the coronavirus spreading the way it is, we know the CDC has basically said you don't typically pick it up from surfaces. There are a lot of other things, though, that you can pick up from surfaces, and that's really where the concern lies, I would imagine.
Absolutely, yes. Metal surfaces are a hotbed, plastic, certainly all those things. And again, a lot of it is airborne as well. As I mentioned, people sneeze, they touch their mouth, their nose, they're touching other surfaces. The virus is active.
All right, Eddie, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, and happy holidays to you. It is 6:27 right